Sup, nerds? I'm Aaron.
I'm Wes.
I'm Tom.
We're taking a look at Dicey Peaks by Calliope Games.
And Scott Alms.
And
Dicey Peaks is a pressure lock dice rolling game where you're trying to get a bunch of climb and climb up this mountain, or you're trying to rest and gain oxygen.
you can't say rest with like, oh, he's trying to rest.
Just rest!
Rest!
It's basically like zombie dice, but maybe like 2 steps higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has the same press your luck aspect of zombie dice, but there's different types of dice, and again, you're not just collecting brains, that's how zombie
dice.
collect brains. You're moving up in the different tiles and stuff, and then you either climb or rest, and then if you want to rest, you can only rest a certain amount because there's more to it, but it definitely
The core
felt
mechanic.
like
The core mechanic
felt
was
like
zombie dice.
Yeah, zombie dice.
The one thing this has over zombie dice, besides the level of thinking,
Besides the 10 things.
yeah, besides those 10 things you just mentioned, is it's also that everybody stays really equal because of the catch-up mechanism. There is a Yeti on one side of these, and if somebody rolls one of those, everybody behind you gets to move up. So it keeps the whole pack really tightly together, and you never are out of this game, which is really cool.
So you said the whole pack.
Yeah.
This game goes 2 to 6 players, which whenever I see variant number of players that high, I'm always like, how can the experience be the same with 2 people versus 6 people? And it really isn't. Like, okay, yeah, that helps mitigate that. So if you're trailing behind and then 5 other people go, you have 5 chances to move up and try and catch up. But by that same token, we played it with 4 people and we played it with 6 people, and 4 I felt was kind of the magic number, or maybe 3 to 5. But again, at 6, I got up and left the table and did other stuff when other people were taking their turns, and I didn't really miss much. Like, you guys can move me if you guys roll Yetis. Okay, I'm going to go do something, because it's not saying there's no player interaction, but while it's not my turn, I don't have to be there. So with 6 players...
And I would actually argue that there isn't any player interaction. Like, yes, there's stuff happening on your turn where if they roll a Yeti, you can move up, but that's it. It's not interaction. It's just I'm watching to see, do I get to move one more space? And like you're saying, with 6 players, like, you don't get to move forward any faster on your turn. Like, you still have a maximum of, you can move your first turn a maximum of 9 spaces or however many oxygen you have. But with that many players, you have 5 chances to get a Yeti if you're behind, whether it's 4 players, you have 3 chances. So I do think it's almost easier in a 6-player game or with more players to stay caught up. And I didn't play 2-player, but I'm thinking if you were playing a 2-player game, it'd be a whole lot easier to get left behind. If you busted on your first climb and they made it to 7 or 8, and then they rested and you climbed and you made 6. Even then, you're 3 behind, and every single turn you're maybe getting 1 caught up, but you could stay equal. And
that's how the math works out. And going back to the interaction thing, you could land on a tile that says you reveal 2 tiles. And I could be like, oh, I'm going to reveal these 2 tiles and hope that those are bad and they hit them. But again, it's like, well, is there player interaction? No. Well, we don't want to say no. We want to say these things kind of qualify as player interaction. Okay, cool. But it's more or less trying to find aspects in this game that could qualify as player interaction than they're actually being player interaction.
Yeah.
This isn't a very strategic game. You're definitely just rolling dice and moving, but it still can be fun. And it's aimed for 8+ is the age on here. So you can play it with younger kids and they can have fun playing it. They're going to, have fun moving up the mountain, and it's really quick, which is a good plus to it. The fact that it only takes 20 minutes, because once somebody makes it to the top, they probably won the game.
And again, yeah, so we're not saying any negatives in terms of, the lack of complexity in the gameplay. Its target audience is for, like you said, younger groups, or it's a filler game. We're comparing it to Zombie Dice, and it is more complex than Zombie Dice, but it's still a filler game in the same way that Zombie Dice is. If you're coming here, looking for, the game to play for your game night, hey, everybody come over, we're playing Dicey Peaks. No, but that's not what it's for. And it's not to hold it against that. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that we're talking about a filler game.
And I think it's a perfect game for Calliope to have picked up. If you think about their other game I'm really familiar with is Suro. This fits right on the shelf next to Suro. And I would even say that if you're comparing the two, this one's probably... I'd much rather play this one than Suro, even though it's a fun little light game. It's maybe a little bit heavier than that, but it fills that same kind of niche. Like, you can play with someone younger if you can have like fun filler game with people that are older, and it's a good game for that. I was a little bored at 6. 4 was, I think it is. 4 was a great number because it's going fast enough. It's definitely not a game that you want to like sit there in your turn and be like, I don't have a beard, but they do, so this is what they do. Like, do I want to re-roll these dice? Do I want to save these dice? And I think that the dice actually add a great component to it. The fact there's 3 different levels of dice. There's the sleepy dice, there's the climbing dice, and then there's like the middle of the road dice. So you can like combine your dice pool. And the fact that you don't have to declare what you're going for before you roll. Like, you get to have your first roll of 5 dice, and then look at, okay, I have a lot, like, I'm right in the middle of oxygen, but I got a lot of climb here, so I'm going to climb. Or, you know, oh, I'm really low, so I'm going to go for resting. I like that about it, and it does help it reach that target better. Because you're not like, I'm going to climb, and you roll all restings, and...
I like the way that ended.
There's a lot of design things in here that actually make it really interesting, too. Like, at the bottom of the mountain, you can gain the most oxygen. The further you go up the mountain, less oxygen can be gained. So if you're further ahead in the game, and you're low on oxygen because you've moved up so quickly, it'll be harder for you to actually gain enough oxygen to move further up the mountain. You're gonna have to like rest there, maybe a turn or two, to gain a lot of oxygen.
And again, there was a time when in the 6-player game where I was like, if I don't rest now, I will get up to the top and have just enough oxygen to do that. So I'll have the 1 in 3 chance of finding the actual flag. I better rest again. And that resting twice in a row there set me back so much. Even though there's the catch-up mechanism, the fact that I spent 2 turns resting and there's all these other people who only spent 1 turn resting, it's just opportunity. They have so much more opportunity for the 5 of them to check the 3 things at the top that, again, like, I'm not trying to knock the game, but I would almost not play this at 6 players for some of the reasons that we're talking about. Again, 4 players, solid game. Love it. Cannolis, love it. It's perfect. Solid at 4. Quattro.
Accents. Tom, it's just awesome.
Awesome. I could be on the accent show.
Brooklyn Spanish.
Brooklyn's show of.
The component quality of this game is excellent too, so that's another plus for me. These dice are frosted, so they look like iciness, so the icy. Anyways, so the frosted dice, you got these sculpted meeples that are climbing up the mountain, and you got the oxygen tanks. And even the quality of this cardboard, it's nice and thick. It's going to last a lot of playthroughs, so good stuff here.
So I've always sat down at the table hopeful, and the first couple of turns, like, yeah, this is fun. What ruins it for me is that twice now, I have been the first to get to the peak. And there's 3 tiles up there, and when you get to the peak, you flip 1 to see if you find the flag. And twice, I have picked the wrong tile. Aaron has gone after me, gotten to the peak, and picked the right tile.
Because I have a 50-50 chance.
Because he has 50-50 where I have a 30% chance.
33.333.
Yeah. And I would think it almost behooves you to go second at the peak. Like, yes, you're the first one there and you could find it, but statistically, you have a better chance of finding the flag if you go second. And that kind of ruined it for me because I fought the whole game to get to the top and I got there first and then I lost.
You found the wrong peak. You're like,
oh
no, that's...
And I feel like you could not try in this game and win. You could, in the first game we played at Gen Con, Aaron was super far behind and just
Yeti
clawed his way all the way to the top and then won the game because he did and the catch-up mechanism was there. And again, that kind of would make it fun for a younger player, but I really wouldn't look forward to playing this game again because of that.
I'm probably more on the fence than you are, and so you're probably in the negative, and let's spoiler, Aaron's in the positive on this one. But okay, I'm still having to have the caveat of what this game is. It's just a light filler game. It looks and sometimes feels like it's a little bit of a bigger game, but it every time I sit down to play it, I'm like, okay, we're playing a game, but then it goes so fast, and in total, I have 4 or 5 turns. It's a quick, light.
I still want to win.
Right, okay, and that is a flaw. That is an issue. The fact that there's the 3 up there. If there was just the 1, that would be whoever happened to roll the best.
Yeah.
Got up there, and it's 6.5 dozen in one hand, and the other hand has some dozens. I understand that, but at the end of the day, I don't think if that makes it a bad game by any stretch of the means. And I while I'm not jumping at the chance to play it again, I will certainly play it again, probably with Aaron. But it is a solid game. It's right in the middle for me where I enjoy it. If I had kids, I would totally play it with them. If they were like, Daddy, can you put it? I'd be like, whoa, just stop throwing things at me. But yeah, let's do it.
I hate this game.
Oh, twist!
Overall, I really do like this game. I used to, think Zombie Dice was a great filler game. I think it was just because it had zombies and a little bit of the pressure luck.
And dice.
And dice.
That's the whole game.
So those three things: zombie, and dice, and rolling. Yeah.
We don't have to film a Zombie Dice review.
Yeah.
No?
So there
you go.
There's 2 reviews in this review. But anyways, this takes that game to another level, which makes it a better filler game for me. And I love just playing lots of games, and if I can throw this out for a round, and then throw another game out for a round, that's awesome. So I really do like this game. It does kind of suck if you get to the top of the mountain and you don't find the flag. So if you like rolling dice and pressing your luck, that's the game you should check out.
Yeah, all you gotta do is scroll down. We'll have a purchase link to this game in the description box down below.
And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe so you'll never be bored.
Finger guns. That's how we end the videos.
So the name Dicey Peaks is a wordplay on Icy Peaks. Because you're
the saying, Icy Peaks. It's like,
Icy Peaks!
Hey, you guys going to the mall later? Hell yeah. Oh, Icy Peaks. Icy Peaks! It can't be a parody of something that nobody says.